The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Last night was President Trump's first address to Congress. This is a speech that a new sitting president delivers to Congress, but it's not an official State of the Union. More like a preview of what the president plans to do in his term. And like absolute clockwork, the Democrats showed us all around the world exactly how not to act. I really don't understand how anyone can vote for them moving forward after their absolutely infantile behavior last night. Let's go see some action. Thanks for tuning in to the 9/10ths podcast, where possession is 9/10ths of the law. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. This will definitely help me keep making videos. Right as Trump arrived in Congress, the Democrats wasted no time and started acting like third graders immediately. As you see here, Trump's walking into the Congress, and what do we have here? We have a Democrat congressman with a sign that says, "This is not normal." Really? President addressing the Congress is not normal? Or you holding up that sign is not normal? Maybe it's the latter. In my opinion, the latter is true. And look what happens here. I love this right here. Look at this guy behind Trump. He just grabs that sign and throws it away. That right there just sets the tone for the night. This was absolutely hilarious to me. The Democrats came up with a brilliant idea to have these little paddles with their little protests on it. That way they wouldn't have to be kicked out if they started heckling. And of course, like clockwork, the internet absolutely dunked on them with some hilarious memes. Let's check it out. Look at this one right here. This is hilarious. I really don't know what they were trying to pull off with those paddles, but they just look ridiculous with them. Do they really think this is gonna look cool? Really? This is hilarious. Look at this. America last. I love war. I steal from taxpayers. I voted against women. Illegal first. I don't know what a woman is. Oh, this is absolute gold right here. Ilan Omar. Check this out, Rashida Tlaib right here. I won't even read that, but hey, that's hilarious. And then of course we got an actual heckler that tried to interrupt.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the sergeant at arms to restore order.
And of course, he doesn't want to sit down. Keeps going. You were warned, sir. You were warned.
Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Get him out of here. Wow, that's not a good look for that guy. Not a good look. So, who is this Sasquatch of a man? Apparently, this guy is named Al Green, which is kind of sad because Al Green is one of my favorite singers of all time. But this guy is nowhere near what the Al Green singer is. This guy is a congressman that tried to impeach Trump twice. Let's see what he has to say after being booted out for his dumbass behavior.
Said he had a mandate. And I was making it clear to the president that he has no mandate to cut Medicaid. I have people who are very fearful. These are poor people, and they have only Medicaid in their lives when it comes to their health care. And I want him to know that his budget calls for deep cuts in Medicaid. He needs to save Medicaid, protect it. We need to raise the cap on Social Security. There's a possibility that it's going to be hurt, and we've got to protect Medicare. These are the safety net programs that people in my...
So he wanted to talk to the president about Medicaid and not cut cutting funding to it. Do you think that was very effective for your constituents that really need Medicaid in their life? Do you think that you really helped them by just heckling that speech right there? Does that really advance your cause right there, in your opinion? I don't think so. In my opinion, my humble opinion, I think you just set your movement back. If I was counting on you for Medicaid and my health care, I would be very disappointed in what you just did. Let's see what Marty Taylor over here has to say about it. My Congressman Al Green was thrown out of the State of the Union by Mike Johnson at the direction of Donald Trump. I could not be more proud of Al Green for speaking out against the tyrant Trump and the must-Trump regime. Trump is an enemy of free speech, even from a sitting congressman. If Trump and Johnson can stifle free speech in a congressman, imagine what is in store for the rest of us. Well, I can still say long live Al Green and free speech and fuck Donald Trump and Mike Johnson. Okay, Marty, Al Green can say whatever the hell he wants, but let me ask you, Marty Taylor, is it free speech when you heckle the president? He can't get a word out, you're just talking over him. Is that giving him free speech? Not letting him allow to continue to talk and just heckling over him, is that giving him free speech? One of the biggest things I love about President Trump is that he's freaking hilarious. If this guy wasn't president or a billionaire businessman, he'd be equally as successful as a comedian. Check this out right here.
With no end in sight, the United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense. With no security, with no anything.
This is the only time the Democrats actually clapped all night, is when they were talking about sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. Then, of course, Big Daddy Trump does not let you get away with that. You think he's capitulating to Ukraine?
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
Oh my God, look at her forcing that smile and that clap right there. How it looks when somebody's pretending that they're not being cooked while they're being barbecued. She's being absolutely barbecued right here. And she's looking like, no, yeah. That. Do you see her face? That was brutal. That was just brutal. Speaking of Trump's sense of humor and comedic sense, here's one of the best lines delivered all night long.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
That's my president right there. You're done, Democrats. You're done.
There's much work to be done. Tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are two illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border.
Check my video about that here. Maduro, the dictator of Venezuela, actually says that Biden financed these gangsters to come over here.
The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you'll find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America.
The speech was also filled with some really inspiring stories, like this one of Jessica Nungari and her daughter, who was 12 years old and was kidnapped and tortured and killed by trendy Aragua gang members that were led in by Joe Biden.
I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
That's just sad right there, because that is a huge honor for a wildlife refuge to be named after your daughter, but then you realize that your daughter's not even here to enjoy it or to recognize it. It's pretty rough. So the night was filled with moments like this where Donald Trump talks about some really inspiring story. Zero Democrats would even stand up to clap for that. This right here is one of my favorite moments in the speech, where Donald Trump just dismantles the whole transgender confusion that the whole country is going through with a few simple and kind words to our youth.
And criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie.
Yes. Big lie.
And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
That right there, you're perfect the way you're made. You don't need to change anything about you. The way you are is awesome. The way you are is great.
Out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is
true.
Trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone.
Not quite gone yet, but we are gonna make sure it is. It's gonna be within these next 4 years. It's still here, but we gotta root every little bit of it out. And I guess if you're a Democrat, you do not like the idea of making America healthy again. The idea of making sure that all our food that we get is actually good for us. The idea that the pharmaceutical companies should be serving us and making us healthy, not getting us more sick. So I guess these things are just plain Republican things, because none of the Democrats cheered for Robert Kennedy.
Commission to make America healthy again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Woo-hoo! All right. This is a great one-liner right here. Talk about comedy.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. How quickly they forget.
I love that guy. That is my president. And perhaps the most emotional part of the whole thing was when this little kid was introduced to America. Check it out.
Daniel is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
Oh yeah.
But in 2018, DJ was
Listen to this.
diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Woo! Wow. What an inspiration. Inspiring. Look at these crazy Democrats not clapping for that. She's even annoyed by it. Really? A 13-year-old kid beating brain cancer pisses you off? Not gonna clap for that?
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Look at his reaction. That was so real. Oh, wow. Wow. Democrats, how do you defend not clapping? Really? You're not going to clap for this kid that just beat cancer and he just became an honorary Secret Service agent? You're not going to clap for that? Really? Oh, that right there just gives, I don't know, that's hope. That looks like hope to me. And look at the Democrats. Look at the Democrats. You can't freaking cheer for that? Seriously? Let's look at the Democrats at this moment again. Everyone's cheering, and look at them. All bitter and gross and disgusting. Yuck. Here's Pocahontas, who will clap for sending endless of billions of dollars to Ukraine, but she won't clap for a 13-year-old cancer survivor that just became an honorary Secret Service agent. Disgusting. Let's hear from DJ himself.
But you wanna know the craziest part? Because my mom bathes me and my brothers all together, and out of nowhere I locked up, and then my dad was calling my name, and I started going to the slow thing, and he said, "Stop playing with me," and And then I started to act, I ain't gonna lie, I started to act slow. And then as soon as he said that, we was speeding all the way, running lights, going to the hospital. And then next thing you know, I was seizing on the table. They said, "No, we gonna have to go in his brain tonight." Ever
man.
since then, I had 13 brain surgeries, and that's how many times my personality has changed. And that's something that you don't hear from a terminally ill child. They had 5 months to live. I'm gonna keep on going until my gas tanks run out. And that's when God calls you home. You never know when God's gonna call you home. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad. I know he's pretty proud of me, and I'm pretty proud of him too. And I'd like to thank President Trump, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
How can you possibly criticize this kid? How can you possibly not cheer for him? How could you not possibly feel amazing that this kid gets to live? How? I don't understand you Democrats. This post is going viral right now with two pictures. The first one on the left is where these Democrats kneeled and eulogized and cried for a violent criminal who died during an arrest. This right here, this dude is that dude who got kicked out, Al Green. And let's see the other photo. This is when Laken Riley was being honored in Congress. Trump was making sure that such a horrific crime could never happen again in America. And here's the Democrats refusing to stand for Laken Riley. This post right here just got me laughing. Vince Langman says the contrast between Republicans and Democrats last night could be summed up in these two photos. I agree. Look at that. This is the best comment right here. Check it out. Let's take a look at this poll of what people think of Trump's speech. Keep in mind, this was done by CBS News, which is most likely a deep state controlled media outlet. Check it out. 76% of Americans that saw this speech approve of it. That's just massive. So those are some highlights from last night's address to Congress. What do you guys think about it? Do you guys feel that it was a good one and that Donald Trump hit it out of the park? Or do you think it was a bunch of BS and that he's a Nazi and that we are down the road to fascism? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in to the 9/10 podcast, where possession is 9/10 of the law. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Peace.